Gavin mentioned weird laughs or when politicians can't laugh, which reminded me of this new clip that came out here today, and from the opposition.
It is the weirdest thing to me. Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good.
When you can't even get the SEALs to clap for you, honestly. When they can't even muster a chuckle.
Oh, and this is like, I mean, Mountain Dew, that's a big brand. You should get more of a ride from that. Ooh. Ooh.
God, that last part is so brutal when he realizes the crowd is not with him.
Yeah. Just
Bro,
like,
do we have the
what?
I can throw this one up too.
It.
Imagine being so bad that
it's open mic energy. Yeah, as someone who's seen a lot of open mics, laughing at your own joke when no one's laughing. It's really tough.
Obviously Joker coded. Joaquin Phoenix style. What's crazy is that imagine being so bad that you're the vice presidential nominee a week after you've been announced to the public, so they're still trying to indulge in fanfare, and yet Fox News just cuts you in the middle of your fucking broadcast, or you're addressing the public from where you came from, your home state of Ohio, and they just pull the rug out right.
Did you send me a clip? Let's see.
It says "Welcome to General."
Sorry,
I can send
guys.
it to you directly.
We're trying out new stuff. How do you guys like our background? Are people gonna take us seriously now?
Oh yeah, dude, we're very serious. This is the most serious.
This one. Oh, dude.
Also, I sent it to you both ways, so there we go. Embarrassing, humiliating stuff.
Swimming at the swimming pool, and somebody brought over their phone and showed me the news that Joe Biden had.
All right, you've been listening to JD Vance giving his first solo speech since becoming Donald Trump's running mate, 9 days after the attempted assassination of.
What was he gonna say about that swimming pool?
It's just like when
brutal.
we're live and we see people start to drop off of the stream. So it's like, all right, we got to change to the next topic. That we're gonna lose the crowd, people. That's what happened at Fox. They're literally watching people tuning out, changing the channel, and they're like, "Fuck, come on, say something that's not anything but this fucking absolute loser."
I think JD tells stories worse than Biden.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because at least from Biden, he's like telling you something that happened 1,000 years ago.
And
you know,
it's full of cliffhangers because he has to remember what happened, right? Or he'll make it up, so you're not sure what he's gonna say.
But JD is like making up a story that he remembers from like reading Shiloh, and then like it's just so boring. I mean, just no fucking charisma. They have to be kicking themselves so hard right now because you pick JD when you think that you're waltzing into like a fucking 538 level victory, and you don't pick him in any other time because how do you not see? I mean, like what's also interesting about JD, he had a lot of clips where he went viral for being really serious and having a really serious speech about Israel or about the elites. But then like he's brought out is this shucks yuck, like
right? It's weird.
Shit, and it's not his lane.
Yeah, I think that he knows that he is a fringe addition to the ticket, and that's not what Trump needs. So I think he's like self-consciously trying to come off as just another moderate Republican that happens to say some populist things sometime. But yeah, it's really weird to see him lean into this goofy like dad energy and stuff. Like I see what you're doing, I see what you're trying, but it's not working at all, and you have zero charisma. I think that if he had a little bit of charisma and that is genuinely who he was, people would respond to that. People do like a kind of like, gee willikers, folks, like if that's really who you are. But this guy is just so clearly a venture capitalist who's pretending and cosplaying to be this normal American. And yeah, I think he has no charisma. I don't think he adds a goddamn thing to the ticket.
He's not even a good writer. Right, you could excuse it away if you were like, guys, he's a little self-conscious on the mic, but look at his prose, right? He could be, really winning people over.
Did he write that book? I thought he had. Did he write that book? I thought it was like a ghostwriter. I mean, like he worked with a writer, right? It was like a biography, right?
But
I thought he wrote it.
I mean, he got credit for writing it, but that doesn't mean.
No, he had a writer's credit. Okay, sure.
Yeah. But still, it wasn't very sophisticated. It's pretty rudimentary. If you read it, it kind of reads like The Art of the Deal. Go figure, right? Like, this is what happened to me, and then this is what happened, and then I did this, and crazy how this happened because then this happened. Just very rudimentary narrative building. But he's clearly doesn't have a presence to him. For as odious as Donald Trump is, he's a show, right? We talk about it. One thing about Kamala is she'll laugh off his craziness. You mentioned that, Griffin. JD Vance is both fringe and MAGA and unserious and also blasé and boring. He's honestly the worst possible choice for JD Vance. And obviously he only picked him because he thought that he was going to be running against Joe Biden. But do you think we'll look back on this and have it be massively consequential that his VP was such a bust if Kamala was able to foil him with a better
with
pick?
an Andy Beshear specifically? Yeah. And I think what also comes into play at that point is the fact that JD Vance actually really has very little political experience. He has very little leadership experience. He just got elected to the Senate in a race that he barely won and was outperformed in that same election by other Republicans, even in Ohio. So, like, what have you done? What do you add to the ticket? Andy Beshear, if he's picked, will not only contrast with the Appalachian, heritage and stuff like that, but also he can say, dude, I'm actually the governor of Kentucky. I haven't just been like this venture capitalist who, my billionaire buddy got me elected to the Senate a couple months ago or whatever. Like, no, I've actually been doing shit. I've actually been leading a state, governing people, and not even a blue state, a freaking red state. He's actually been uniting Americans under a common agenda, right? So I think that immediately JD Vance is going to wilt under that scrutiny when people realize what a phony he is, when people realize he has no credibility as a leader.
Have you seen that picture of Andy Beshear's family? It is the whitest, insane, most fucking nuclear, fucking white
like Mormon.
ass Mormon. Yeah, they look like
family,
Mormons. They're like, they still wear the second skin clothes.
Nick
just
Fuentes' wet dream.
It is. Yeah, it is incredible, and it's like the whitest family ever, and they're like, and guess what? Trans people are cool. It's like it is like the Republicans' worst nightmare. They're like they're so fucking white. And I like that Beshear has challenged JD Vance to like a hillbilly off to see like who's the real hillbilly. Because on one side you've got like Beshear, who's like, this incredibly white family. He's got like he has more. I mean, his face looks way more like a fucking hillbilly than JD Vance, who was just put up here. It's like this eyeliner. What is going on? Like, you can't be the hillbilly.
Trying to compete with the Brat Summer, bro. Have you seen Charlie recently? She's committed to the wing, and so is JD.
I have. Yeah.
He saw her set at the Boiler Room in Los Angeles, and he's been bratted out ever since.
Let's just say there's a reason he's been drinking Diet Mountain Dew and not the real thing.
Here's the thing. I've asked people around that know JD, that are around JD's circle, what is up with this eyeliner that's going on? And I get blank faces. I get blank stares. Never gotten a good answer.
Yeah, I will say the one thing he did correctly was he took Ted Cruz's example and grew a beard, which massively helped him. I think if you look at pictures of him, pre-beard, it was real rough. Not that it's much better now. Obviously, there's still plenty of lots of material for us here. But
he's like the Ku Klux Care Bear now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, just seeing how shitty and sort of like, I mean, like JD Vance isn't even entertaining, and that's before everyone finds out he was like grooming Thomas Matthew Crooks in a Discord. Like there's gonna be so many weird stories coming out from him.
Eating with that.
He was just like in all those like weird like channels. He follows some kind of like Groyper accounts, but I guess that's like what. I mean,
run of the mill Republican at this point.
I feel like we all then like if we're all looking in our own backyard for a second, there's some crazy people on the left that I probably wouldn't be like, that's my guy. Everyone should listen to him. But I just let him chill out over there on the side.
That's what most people do with the Vanguard.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I wouldn't show this to anyone. But
you're not putting it on the TV when your mom comes over.
But this was the first time I was like, with the Kamala thing and then with picking JD, I was like, Trump like may not have it anymore. Like he may just have like gotten super lucky and known like a lot about TV the first time, but like I I don't know how he's gonna pull it out now. Now it's looking it's looking just very different.
I will have to take a small victory lap. A couple episodes ago, I said
Uh-oh.
that Trump was peaking too soon. And it
He
seems that I
peaked too
was
soon.
correct. I think you guys immediately laughed me off the stage. But look,
Yeah.
look, was I not kind of right? Trump peaked too fucking soon. If the assassination attempt had happened like 2 weeks before the general election, that would be one thing. But that seems like it was 2 years ago now. People have moved on. There's been like a freaking unprecedented week of Democratic Party politics. People are going to be obsessing over the DNC now. By the time the DNC happens, the RNC will have felt like ancient history.
It's crazy.
Yeah, the Democrats are totally back in this thing.
It's crazy. I mean, Trump was literally almost assassinated 2 weeks ago, and no one gives a shit. No one cares at all.
What do you think the first round of
awesome.
polling looks like then? Before we get into VP specifics, Kamala has her work cut out for her in a lot of the critical swing states. If we are to believe that she's starting where Joe Biden's polling left off, I kind of doubt that. I think people will reevaluate the situation and we'll see a completely different structure to the race. But in critical states like North Carolina, Arizona, Pennsylvania, she's down by anywhere between 7 to 10% right now. Do you think she makes that up immediately, or is it something that we see taking a while to develop? Because I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. At this point, I'm ready for anything. I wouldn't be surprised though if we see her, just immediately take just a huge hammer to whatever lead Donald Trump has.
I think she's going to explode the young voters that were all not coming out with Biden. Like, there's already some trickle pollings coming out right now that I'm seeing. Like, young voters 18 to 34 go from Biden 44 to 36 plus 8 to Harris 57 to 37 plus 20. So,
yeah, that's
like,
big.
I think we're about to see a lot of stuff. And this is before people even know she's fucking, like, really in the race and running. These things are just starting to happen. So, yeah, I mean, this could be, just a total steamroller. And I love the fact that Gavin was right. And I should have known Gavin was right when Elon Musk went all in at the peak, just like a classic fucking dumbass VC's tech guy. He fucking was like, I'm going to give $45 million a month to Trump. This is just awesome. He's addicted to bad car ideas.
Just car crash after car crash for Elon Musk. First, he runs Twitter into the ground. He's in a massive hole. $45 million a month commitment. We'll see how long that commitment lasts, by the way. I doubt he keeps up with his funding train for Donald Trump if the polls come out and it looks like he's going to get absolutely clobbered, because I think it's pretty hard to argue that Kamala Harris is a weaker presidential candidate than Joe Biden was in 2020. Would you guys agree with that, or do you think that Joe Biden was stronger in 2020?
I think that Joe Biden benefited a lot from being able to stay in the basement and hide the realities of his cognitive condition. And honestly, a lot of people voting for him probably just kind of thought they were voting for like the 2016 or 2012 Joe Biden. So it's hard to say. And we're obviously going to have to see, how Kamala does on the campaign trail, if she can prove herself and run on a, coherent message that is able to get people interested. So I think it's a little too early to say, but at this point, I am feeling optimistic. I think some people are making it too complicated. They're too online. They're getting too hung up on certain aspects of her record or the fact that she's a woman of color and stuff like that. And I just don't think it's that complicated. I think most people are just going to be like, thank God someone who's a normal and serious seeming adult is back in the ring.
Yeah, and the
you
donation.
lower the bar this much. You walk someone through the desert for this long, the first taste of water is going to taste like gold, So, I mean, that's the state of that shit. Kamala, like, whether I agree with her past, that, I'm willing to unburden the future. I'm willing to burden. I'm willing to do it all. I'm just glad that the evil, incompetent, sick, bloodstained freak known as Joe Biden and his entire family are going down. I hope Hunter drives off the Grand Canyon.